Right, so I'm a sleepwalker. I know you are too. Well, you're a sleep talker, really.
But yeah, a bit more of a sleep talker than a walker.
I actually used to have sleep terrors.
Well, we both did,
when
Stu.
I was younger.
Yeah, we both had bad sleep terrors.
Mate, you never had a sleep terror on my level.
We were little terrors. Mate, yes, I fucking did. Don't
Mate,
at
Mum
me.
had to... Do you not remember when I was like, shh? Like, Mum had to wake me up at the bottom of the stairs. Like, what a... And I was like, ah! I was in like... I was in the shit house, mate, for so many nights when I was younger.
Yeah, but do you not remember when Steph found me in a bath?
Yeah.
Running the bath water, dripping into like an inch of bath water, and I just stood there.
Yeah, and that's terrifying. But look, there's nothing... That's not a sleep terror, Nick.
Well,
that's
look.
a sleep walk. A sleep terror is when you're literally like, I'm in the shit.
Yeah, we did both
and you're
have
like,
those.
And you're like screaming, you're like, ah!
Yeah.
You're like, ah! And but you're within and out of a horrible waking nightmare. And Mum used to have to just like sit with me and be like, you're all right, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ah! I was just screaming. I was screaming and you were just stood in a bath, mate. Who's having a sleep terror?
Well, look, it's pretty crazy. Little did we know that the real nightmare would be adult life. But yeah, mate, go on. Sleepwalking, sleep terrors, sleep talking.
But yeah, look, so yeah, we're sleepwalkers, talkers, we used to terror, whatever you want to call it. And I've always wondered, like, I've always been quite nervous sometimes about what I might do in the night.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, I've literally, right, so where we live at the moment, I've got the word's gone, skylight above our bed, slanted roof above our bed, because our bedroom's in the roof. And it's literally above our bed. And it just opens up. You just push it up, goes up right angle. I don't need to explain it too much. And literally, I think it was this year, might have been last year. Certainly while I've been living in this flat, I slept, walked, and I got up on the bed and I just opened the window.
That is
like
whack.
And but when I'm saying if I open that window and I'm stood up, that over half of my body's just stood out the window.
That is
out the window.
I
literally could have just top myself out.
Yeah, but I'll raise your bloody third.
But I'm not gonna.
floor.
Jordan stopped. Jordan was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Woke up and was like, "Jesus."
Yeah, but look, mate, you might have poked your head out of. You might have
dark sleep.
You might have poked your head out of a skylight.
Yeah.
But the last flat me and Maddie were in was on the 9th floor of a high rise, and the first month when we were playing Warzone religiously, Maddie woke up to me trying to open the window in my bedroom, not unsuccessfully, by the way, because the window was like, it had like a preliminary indoor like slider, and then you had to like key open it. So I didn't, and I remember so vividly.
You tried.
I remember so vividly thinking that I was on the top of one of the cranes in port of Warzone, and I wasn't. So look, mate, if you'd have fallen out your skylight, yeah, probably would have broken something. If I'd have fallen off my 9th floor balcony, I think I probably would have died.
The worst part is if you had died there, we would have never known you were dreaming vividly about Warzone. So it's just a sad death. But if we had somehow been able to work out that you were playing Warzone, it would have made the whole thing much funnier.
Unless I shouted like, "Sniper in the hill!"
As you die, Maddie's telling the police like, it was a horror, really sad through tears. Like, but he did shout. He did shout, "Ping the sniper" as he jumped.
Either he was dreaming about Warzone, or I'm going to have to up the security of my house because he did shout "sniper."
Exactly. No, look. Wait, snipers in Ealing, mate. It's a real problem.
It's a tough one, mate. It really
but
is.
Listen, look, what absolute sidetrack. All I'm trying to say here is that, like, well, look, we sleep talk, we sleep walk, we do the whole shebang. And I always get a bit nervous about what I might do in the night. You know, like, it's like, oh God, what if I get up and do some mad shit? Well, scientifically, your body is supposed to, obviously it doesn't work if we're getting out of bed and doing shit, but that's like a side effect of sleepwalking. Your body, typically in sleep, paralyzes itself.
I did know that.
Makes a bit of sense, doesn't it? It's like, that's why. And I suppose that also makes sense for people that have, and I've never had it really, but people that have real bad, what is the word?
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis.
There you go.
I was going to say locked-in syndrome. I was like, that's not sleeping.
Right.
That's just
People
a horrible
really
disease.
bad Berlin syndrome.
Sleep paralysis. That makes sense because I guess it's like your body hasn't Your body thinks you're asleep,
It's
so it
in
hasn't
that
told you
mode
to
where you're-
unparalyze.
Which, by the way, I'm so glad I've never had sleep paralysis because that scares the shit out of me. And
Sounds
also,
horrible.
isn't it that the more you talk about it, the more likely you are to have it? So we've just fucked it, mate.
So
Tonight we
anyone,
have the
anyone
worst sleep.
listening that is prone to it, sorry, I'm so fucking sorry, mate.
So sorry. Think about rainbows or something.
But I haven't had
happy.
sleep paralysis. But you know what? I used to get loads when I was little, and it was it's not as bad as sleep paralysis, but it was so spoony and it was like horrible dreams. And I think it would teeter into like that line between being awake and being asleep, and like night terrors and night stuff. I don't know what it must have all been interrelated. I used to get this thing called, and it's something that a lot of people have. I've heard other people say about it. I didn't know it was until recently. And it's called Alice in Wonderland. I think it's called like the Alice in Wonderland syndrome or something.
What is this? Because I feel like you're about
Have
to
you
blow
heard
my...
about this?
Well, I feel like this is something that... go on, because, explain.
I think I'm pretty sure it's an actual thing. I think it is because I didn't know that was a thing and someone told me like, oh, it's called that. So I'll quickly double check that it actually is a thing. Yeah, Alice in
don't lie
Wonderland
through
syndrome.
your teeth, mate. Go on.
Sorry, it's also known as Todd syndrome or dysmetropsia. Fuck that word.
Sounds
That's a tough one.
wild.
We'll call it Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Sounds fun.
Sounds pretty. Yeah.
All it was is that, like, so you know how in Alice in Wonderland she has different potions, different medicines, and they make her. Sometimes she's huge in a house, sometimes she's tiny. I used to have it during the night when you would just feel. More often than not, I'd feel tiny. I'd feel absolutely tiny in the room. And it is a really strange thing to be able to describe because I don't think I can actually accurately explain to you how disorientating that is and how terrifying it is and what it feels like. But it's like you're just so hyper aware of the walls in your room,
Mate.
and of the things in your room, and they would feel so big that you would just feel tiny. And it's sort of like it's like an extension of, you know, when you're absolutely fucking wasted and you go to bed and your head's spinning and you can't sleep because your head's spinning. Like you just can't seem to get out of your head spinning around. It's like that feeling, not your head specifically spinning, but that feeling of not being able to actually clock off and go to sleep, and just like being aware of your like senses and your body
mate,
spatial.
you don't.
It is horrible, and so everything was big. Sometimes it would feel like everything's small, and I'm like huge in my room.
You don't need to tell me. You don't need to explain to me, Stuart, because I had that too.
Did you?
Yeah. In fact, vividly, I remember.
We must have never spoken about
I
this.
feel like
being twin brothers.
We
it must have come
done.
up.
I've never known what it's called, but I always just
I didn't
thought
know
it was
you had this though.
No, I remember vividly in whatever room it was when we were really young, when we had bunk beds. I remember like thinking that the door was like that I'd have to literally walk like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
a good way of putting it actually. Like, yeah, because
Everything
I remember
felt
being in the
so
bunk beds
far
and the door.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, and in my other room, I remember the door being like you're like, oh my God, it's so far away. And that makes you feel like you can't do anything. You can't get, it's like a weird sleep paralysis.
It was
right?
like, I remember like specifically getting it like just as I was falling asleep. Like it would be like I'd like go to sleep and then I'd like be a bit restless, and then after like half an hour I'd just be like, oh, I can't get to sleep, and then I'd be like, oh shit, like
Mate,
it feels like
throw you
everything's
off.
so far. Like because we were in a room where there was I think it was back in like when we were like really young. We had like the bunk beds, and then there was another bed the other side of the room, I think. Or
Where?
Anna, I feel like I actually don't know, but I feel like there was it might not have been a bed, it might have been like a desk or something. But I remember like the other side of the room from our bed was like super, so far away.
We did used to have bunk beds, and then I think there was another bed because there was a period where we did share a room with our little sister Anna.
Yeah, and it was
when we were like, really young.
And I'm certain the other bed felt like miles away,
decades away.
Weirdest thing ever. And I've never had it since I was a kid.
No, I've not had it since.
Yeah,
it was a really weird thing.